Hi, everybody. This is Anthony, and I wanted to contribute this week to our group discussion related to LivNev's stage models and related to disabilities. I got a chance to look at a couple of them already, and I wanted to get mine in before the deadline. Of course, we know how many stages there were, and to me, it made logical sense as far as the order in which things occur. So I'm just going to go over a few of those real quick via the format, of course. So the first one was the initial impact related to a disability. And basically, the way it was written and the way it makes sense to me is when that person finds out that there is a disability or there is some type of illness or sickness or whatever it is that's major, and what the first response is going to be, the shock of it, the anxiety, which I think was discussed. I think it was a shock and anxiety factor. Just as I think any of us can relate to that. If we find out something is whether it's severe or life-threatening or just something that's going to affect us in some type of way, there's going to be a shock factor. If it's something minor, there's going to be an anxiety because the questions are going to become, what do I do next? What am I going to do? What about my job? What about my family? So as it relates to that, I can understand why that is the first stage. It makes perfect sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, it's logical that that was the first step. The next one, the defense mobilization, was first of all acknowledging stage one that there is a disability or there is something going on. And then there's the denial of it, of course. This can't be real. This can't be happening. Why me? How did this happen to me? Um, just logical things that I would expect that I would say if something happened to me. And in a bit, I'll tell you a little bit about something that did happen to me and how some of these same questions I asked myself. There was a bargaining thing going on. I'm getting back to the stages again. Bargaining with God. The thing happened at an inconvenient time. Why now? If you just let me get out of this, Lord. If you put this off till later, I'll do whatever it takes. Things like that. So again, it makes sense to me. This is step two, of course. The step three in the model, she called initial realization, which the mourning and depression started. The first two have been addressed, and then you go into, okay, so this is real. This is here. It's not like I'm going to be able to get away from it. So I guess I'll just have to accept it. Here it is. So you've accepted that it's a life-altering event or whatever it is. It's here, so I'm gonna maybe mope over it, just whatever. It could be the solemn stage. To me, again, these are all in my opinion. There could be a solemn state, and I think it really depends on the person. Um, they could take a more of a numb type approach, or it could be just be a flat-out anger. Again, lashing out at God as far as why is this happening to me, or taking anger against God, taking anger against your family, those that are close to you in your circle, whatever the case may be, that there's a type of anger that goes with that. Following the anger, of course, will be a retaliation. Again, it makes logical sense to me as far as how it occurs. So there's the anger, and then you're going to retaliate against whoever. It could be your spouse, your family, your baby, coworkers, whatever the case may be. There's going to be some type of retaliation. And again, it depends on the person. Some people may retaliate with an all-out retaliation, such as threats, things like that. Some people may just isolate themselves in a retaliation and just say, you know what, I'm going to get away from social media. I'm going to shut down my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever media things they use, and just kind of isolate themselves. I mean, that could be a type of what am I trying to say? Retaliation. That could be a retaliation as well. Some people who are big on social media, they just kind of disappear. People are like, where's so and so? How come they're not here? And then, of course, the calls are going to come, the emails are going to come. Where are you? Where have you been? We've been looking for you, so on. And then the last stage is the adjustment, which after all those first four phases, you finally say, where the person says, hey, it's here, it is what it is, and I'm just going to have to accept it and go on with it. I think in stage three, which I forgot to mention, there was a suicidal ideation, which probably occurs as well. And hopefully, if that doesn't happen, this stage 5 the person will, if they were in that position or in that state, says, you know what, this is not worth killing myself over. I'm just going to accept it and move forward, take the help that's going to be offered to me, and go forward from there. Now I noticed, excuse me, and Caitlin and I were discussing, if you saw our discussion portion, we both acknowledged that, well, she did first, and I followed up, that we have epilepsy. And I remember when I first learned that I had epilepsy, I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was just something that was happening. It was temporary. And I told you guys this in my introductory video. I think for this course I mentioned it. And I didn't necessarily go through all the phases, but there was more of a confusion factor as to why me, why is this happening. I just never really had an idea of why it was going on. So I can relate to that. And in future videos, I'll get more into it because I'm gonna stay within our time frame for this particular video. But I did want to share with you my take on the LivNeb stages and how I feel about it. I hope it wasn't too rambling. I hope I wasn't repeating myself too much. And until we have a further discussion, I really appreciate your guys' time. Thank you.